The line between human and demon isn't always as clear-cut as you'd expect in Shin Megami Tensei. There are plenty of games where we see human characters fuse with demons, or demons who were once human. In Shin Megami Tensei If, the main antagonist of the game, Ideo Hazama, was once a regular high school student who managed to climb the Tower of Infinity and absorb the power of an ancient primordial deity known as Zurvan, becoming the Demon Emperor and ruler of the Expanse. This story immediately caught my interest, and I wanted to learn who exactly this Zurvan figure was. And now all of you have to deal with my personal obsessions, so, thanks for coming. If you're interested in this video, then I'd like to suggest you subscribe because 1, I like the number to go up, and 2, it'll help you guys stick around for more videos just like this. Now, Zurvan himself is considered to be quite ancient, so far as religion goes. The Encyclopedia Britannica lists the oldest known references to Zurvan being around 3,000 years old, in the ancient Mesopotamian city of Nuzi, in what is today Iraq. He's described there as a god of time, being associated with the cycle of life. Art often depicts him as having wings and the head of a lion. A serpent coils around his body, possibly representing the motion of the sun, according to the Encyclopedia Britannica. Even his name fits his domain, translating as time in Avestan Middle Persian. According to some sources, Zurvan was the chief deity of the early Persians. However, even a god of time doesn't last forever, and his worship would eventually fall out of favor, to be replaced by Zoroastrianism. Zoroastrianism plays an important part in the story of Zurvan, and it's also not very well known, so I think it's best if I explain a little bit about it here. Zoroastrianism claims that a single all-good deity, known to them as Ahura Mazda, was the creator of both the spiritual and material worlds. However, due to the meddling of demonic entity Angra Mainyu, evil and selfishness have entered Ahura Mazda's creation, leading to the necessity for the beings who live in this world to recognize good and evil. Despite being easily described as diametric opposites who represent different sides of the Zoroastrian morality system, the two beings are not in any way treated as comparable in scope or power. Ahura Mazda is the only god in the traditional sense with most branches of Zoroastrianism. Angra Mainyu is more of an evil spirit. There is certainly far more to Zoroastrianism that I'm not going to touch here, and if you want a proper introduction to its beliefs, then I highly suggest you check out the video released last year by Let's Talk About Religion, which you can find in both the iCards and the description. But this is where we leave traditional Zoroastrianism for one of its offshoots. During the time of the Sassanid Empire, between the 3rd and 7th centuries, Zurvan returned to its prominence in a sect of Zoroastrianism named after him, Zurvanism. This sect instead interpreted Ahura Mazda and Angra Mainyu as the opposite yet equal twin sons of Zurvan, who himself was the true creator of the world, representing a neutral god with preference for neither good nor evil. An all-powerful god who ruled the worlds of the spirits and material alike. And this is where we re-enter the world of Shin Megami Tensei. In terms of timeline, Zurvan's first appearance was in the 2004 mobile phone RPG Shin Megami Tensei If, Hazama's chapter, which served as a prequel to the original If game. It is this game that shows us the origin of Ideo Hazama, who I mentioned in the video's opening. A bullied loner abandoned by both his family and society as a whole, it was only by chance that Hazama received an email from a scientist named Steven, who was searching for the Messiah. This was presumably the same email that was received by the protagonist of the original Shin Megami Tensei, and included a version of the demon summoning program. Hazama, being a savant, very quickly became obsessed with the program, managing to reverse engineer it so that, instead of summoning demons from the Expanse, the demon realm, he could send himself there. Specifically, Hazama found himself in the Tower of Infinity, the place where souls go before being reborn. Human, animal, demon, it doesn't matter, all souls come here, meaning that anyone who holds control of this tower holds great power. When Hazama arrives, he's told that the tower is in the hands of Angra Mainyu, the so-called Demon King of Death. However, upon reaching the top of the tower and defeating Angra Mainyu, he realizes that the power he seeks isn't yet his, even as he takes the title of Demon King. There is another being, even more powerful, the one who created and thus controls life and death. That is, the one who created Ahura Mazda and Angra Mainyu, Zurvan, the god of time. It is from atop this tower that Zurvan watches over all of creation, and those who attempt to overcome time. It is at the true top of this tower, atop the nomos of heaven, where this true god sits. And upon reaching him, Hazama slays Zurvan as well, taking the power of the god of time and crowning himself as the Demon Emperor. With this power, he holds control over the Tower of Infinity and the souls of the world. Hazama's chapter even suggests that someone with this power could rise to the role of Almighty, overtaking even YHVH, the Abrahamic god. However, Hazama is unable to reach that level due to his human weaknesses still controlling him. But despite those limits, Hazama still holds great power, including complete control over the Expanse. It is with this power that Hazama begins the events of Shin Megami Tensei If. Zurvan's appearance is that of a faceless, unknowable god with a purple cloak, similar to the one worn by his son, Angra Mainyu. He also has a halo of light around his head, reminding me of many depictions of Jesus Christ. Hazama adapts his Demon Emperor form to look similar to Zurvan, with a crown that looks somewhere between the halo of light seen on Zurvan and the crown of the Statue of Liberty. While armored unlike his predecessor, Hazama still hides his face, as Hazama's appearance looks similar to Zurvan's, and also he takes on the powers of the God of Time. I find it likely that Hazama actually fuses himself with Zurvan, a fitting parallel to his partner demon, Amon, who fused himself with Hazama's classmate Akira Miyamoto in order to cause Hazama's downfall. Since Zoroastrianism isn't the most well-known of religions, and Zurvanism is even a subset of that, it's not very common that you'll see Zurvan portrayed in other media. The most notable example I can find is his role in the Prince of Persia series, which takes place within the Sassanid Empire where Zurvan's worship flourished. It is from Zurvan that the Sands of Time, the most recognizable element of the series, gained their power. He also appeared as a boss in a number of Final Fantasy games. First, he appeared in 6 as the Demon of the Warring Triad, which is the basis for most of his appearances in spin-off media. He would appear again as a member of a similarly named Triad in Final Fantasy XIV. In both of these instances, the other members of the Triad were the Fiend Sephiroth, whose name comes from the 10 spheres of reality from Jewish Kabbalah, and the goddess Sophia, whose name is Greek for wisdom, and was the mother of the false god Yaldabaoth in Gnosticism, who I also have a video on. All 3 of them represent controversial sects of major world religions. Zurvan are also recurring enemies in Final Fantasy X-2 as part of the Imp family, which includes a number of enemies whose names also represent Persian mythology, such as Gandarewa and Vidatu, neither of which appear in Shin Megami Tensei, so I will probably never talk about them again. And with that, this is the end of our discussion of the God of Time. I'm sure that Zoroastrianism and Zurvanism are new to a lot of you, so feel free to leave your thoughts and comments below and in the Discord. And tell me what other demons you'd like to see me cover in the future. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.